Hello everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series. We're completing our unit. Probably this will be the last class in how to talk about job performance, where we're going to try to put together all of our skills in one big speaking activity, a realistic situation you might have to deal with at work. We'll talk about that in just a minute. First, a little bit about me. I'm Jon-Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. And here are 3 quick rules to help you participate in my class. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the background noise to a minimum. Also, tune into the new words that you learn. Use them as actively as you can so I can correct you. And finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is a little bit about me. Now, I want to know a little bit about you. So let's say hello to Rafael. Long time no see. How are you?
Long time no seeing you.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to stay
good.
in your classes. A lot of knowledge, a lot of practicing vocabulary. I'm very glad to join. Today to
be able to.
There
you go.
join your classes.
Excellent. Nice to have you. Okay. And Victor, were you in the other classes in this unit? I don't remember. Yesterday, you weren't here yesterday, right?
I think I was in your class yesterday. I have to.
Was it? Okay.
Yes, but I'm not sure.
Me neither.
Because it was there are a lot of classes which I attend every day. And
well, I'll tell you what. Let me do this. Let me open the presentation and see if it looks familiar. And let's say hello to Arvin as well. Arvin, you're new. I don't think I know you. Hello, Arvin.
How are you?
How are you? Where are you from, Arvin?
India.
You're from India. India is a pretty big country. Yeah. Where in India?
Tamil Nadu. Chennai.
I unfortunately I don't know India well enough. Where is that? What's the nearest big city? I just know the big cities. Hello? You there?
Your voice is not audible.
It's a little hard to hear you. So what are you near? Are you in the north, the south? I'm not hearing you very well, Arvin. Well, look, let's take a look at the presentation. This is the one. Arvin, we lost you. Okay, well, maybe you're having connection problems. Let's take a look. In this unit, we've talked about personal qualities, words like being hardworking, dedicated, anything to describe your performance, adjectives mostly, and we learned how to turn them into nouns. So dedicated becomes dedication. Hardworking doesn't really have an equivalent. Well, we can say hard work, of course, doing hard work. There was a whole list of these, which we can take a look at later if you like. But we also learned key expressions for talking about performance and appraising someone's performance. Key expressions for giving feedback as well. And last class we worked on narrative tenses. So if you're talking about your experience, you're basically telling a story in the past. And that's something that we're going to pick up on today. I asked everyone to create a little timeline. Let me jump forward and show you. In the last class, you had to look at a timeline for someone that we were listening to. We were listening to them talk about their experience. We plotted what she said out on a timeline like this, and we started to talk about it using some key expressions, and I asked you to think about making a similar timeline for yourself, or perhaps presenting a page of your CV so we can see the chronology of things. And basically you were focusing on using the past perfect and the past continuous. So just as a quick example, Helena, who was complaining that she was mistreated in the workplace, and then when she changed locations, she ended up succeeding. In fact, she ended up running the factory where she was working. But look at the two types of events. We've got these periods of time, like studying at the university, working for a food company, and then after that, working for a subsidiary. And then we've got parallel events, events that happen during those periods, like she applied for a job at a food company, she graduated. So if we were going to describe some of these events, we could say something like this. While she was still studying at university, right, she graduated. So, well, hold on a second. I don't want to say that. That's a bad example. While she was still studying at university, she applied for a job at a food company. But she had applied for the job at the food company prior to working for the subsidiary. So applying happened before going to the subsidiary. First, she worked for the main part of the company, the food company. So during a period of time, I'm using the past continuous while she was studying. I can then use the past simple to talk about an event. While she was studying, she applied for a job at a food company. I can use the past perfect, which is she had applied, had done, had spoken, had been, all of those had words. By the way, everyone, make sure you've got the VerbLink window closed in the background. Close everything except the Hangout if you can, because I'm hearing an echo. Okay? Make sure you're wearing headphones as well, if you can. So, for example, she had applied for a job at the food company before ending up working, or prior to working for a subsidiary of that food company. Obviously, she had to apply before she got the job. She'd had a bad performance appraisal before getting transferred to a subsidiary. Again, that's the past perfect. Okay? So what I'd like everyone to do is just a real quick review. I'd like you to use those three tenses, past continuous, past simple, and past perfect, by looking at her timeline and making two statements. One, something that happened simultaneously to a period of time, and two, something happened prior to something else. Okay? Let's give it a chance, just as a little review of yesterday's class. Okay? So I know you did this already, but Yuki, you were here yesterday. Why don't you show them how it's done? I'd like you to say the first statement using this past continuous to talk about a period, and then an event that happened during that period. Okay? Use the timeline in front of you to give an example. If you like, you can just talk about the first one, studying at university.
Okay.
You can talk about Helena, if you like, using the timeline.
Yes. Helena. Helena had studied at university before she applied for the job at
Not before. Not before, though. Look, it didn't happen before.
Helena had studied. Helena studied at university. Helena was studying at university before
Right.
before he had applied for job at food company.
Listen to me on this one. Listen to me.
Before, not after.
Listen to me. It's not before though. Listen to me.
Before.
Helena was studying at university when she applied for a job at a food company. It's happening simultaneously.
Yes.
So we say when. When is better.
Before she applied.
Not before. No. When.
When. そうか。Helena was studying at university when she applied for a job at a food company.
That's good. That's it. So why do we say when and not before? Because is that clear why we're saying when, Yuki? Is it clear or not clear?
It was clear.
Okay. Just to be clear, so it's happening at the same time. We got to say when. If we say before, it's going to be a little bit confusing because, well, it's wrong. It didn't happen before. It happened actually at the same time. In other words, listen to this, Yuki. She had not graduated when she hadn't graduated yet when she was applying for a job, right? She had not graduated yet when she was applying for the job. So it happened at the same time. Okay, Victor, I'd like you to pick out two other details, and I'd like you to say two statements. The first one, say something that happened when or while something else happened. You've got to use the past continuous to talk about the period, and you've got to use the simple past to say what happened during that period. That's the first thing you're going to say. Okay? So why don't you? So go for it.
Past continuous and past simple. Yes.
In one sentence. Maybe you could do the second one, working for the food company. What happened while she was working for the food company, Victor? What event happened?
I was working for a big food company, and in this time the company
you're using the timeline, right? Use the timeline.
Yes, now it's past tense. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and in this time it was big increase for the company.
I don't see that on the timeline. Where do you see big increase?
Big financial increase.
I don't see that. Where do you see that? Where do you see big financial increase? I see had bad performance appraisal. I see that. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, great. So all you need to say, Victor, is when or while. Those are your connector words here. When or while, and then the past simple. So let's try this again. Let's talk about Helena. While Helena was working for the food company, what happened to her? While she was working for the food company, what happened? In other words, just take the event, the one that's on the timeline, and say it in the past simple, and it will sound good.
She studied at university.
No, that happened before. Right? Look below. Look below. Working for the food company. Read that. Read the little text below. Working for the food company. See it? Below. What does it say below?
Below it means apologize.
Not on top.
Okay.
No, below. Not on top, but underneath. Down. Look down. Working for a food company. Read the part that's down. Had
bad performance Appraisal.
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 Appraisal. With a Z, like zebra. Appraisal.
Appraisal.
Repeat. That's it. Good.
Okay.
So, an appraisal is an evaluation. An evaluation. Her boss decided that she was doing a bad job. Is that clear, Victor? Her boss decided she was doing a bad job. Okay, good. So, the bad appraisal happened at the same time that she was working for the food company. Okay, so this is how I would say it. While Helena was working for the food company, she had a bad appraisal. She had a bad job performance appraisal. She was told she was doing a bad job. So the past continuous is was working for the food company, and the simple past happened at the same time. Had a bad performance appraisal. I could say it like this too. She was working. This is the second version, Victor. She was working for a food company when she had a bad performance appraisal. So those are two different ways to say that.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
So I want you just to repeat it so I can hear you say it. She was working for a food company when she had a bad performance appraisal. Just to repeat that.
She was working for a food company.
When?
When she had bad performance appraisal.
Right, and we have to add an article. Articles are a and the. So we have to say had a bad performance appraisal. We have to add the article a.
Had bad performance appraisal.
A bad performance appraisal. That's right.
A bad performance appraisal.
Okay. Now here's the second thing. What happened, Victor, what happened after her bad performance appraisal? What happened afterwards? What's the thing that happened after? Look on the timeline. What happened afterwards? She graduated before, but we don't care about before. What happened after the bad performance appraisal?
She transferred at another
subsidiary.
Subsidiary is difficult to pronounce.
Good. Say it backwards. If it's difficult, go backwards. You say E, then you say airy, then you say subsidiary, then you say subsidiary. So always go backwards. Subsidiary. But go backwards, it's easier. E. Repeat E.
E.
Right. Airy.
Airy.
Eary.
Eary.
Subsidiary.
Subsidiary.
No. Subsidiary.
Subsidiary.
That's it. Subsidiary.
Subsidiary. Subsidiary.
That's right. Don't lose the E. Subsidiary.
Subsidiary.
That's it. Okay. Good. So, Victor, here you have to use the past perfect, the had done form, had been, had spoken. So you would say, she had, what did she have before? She had, listen to this one that's a little bit weird, but it's correct. She had had a bad performance appraisal before doing what?
Before.
Here we're going to change transferred to transferring.
She transferred to another subscriber.
Wait. Subsidiary.
Subsidiary.
Right.
Yes.
Listen to the whole sentence now. She had. I'm using the past perfect, so I say had, and I'm using the main verb to have, but I'm using it in the past participle form. Just like if I say speak, I would say spoken. Have, had.
Sorry, one question.
Yeah.
Sure. We can use had when we talking about past continuous. Yes.
You cannot use have in the past continuous. You cannot. But you can use have in the past perfect. So what I want you to do is look in the chat window. Look in the Verbling chat window for a second.
Yes.
Okay? Just to make sure it's clear. So first of all, past perfect equals.
Sorry, I can't use. I can't see Google Chat because.
Hold on one second. Hold on.
I connect from a small device, and
Okay.
If you can't describe it in another way, you can just miss this question.
Here's what I'll do though. You can see the screen.
Yes.
So I know I should never do this, but I'm going to try to share my screen.
I don't know why, but iPad doesn't show verbal chats or
but no problem.
Google Chat. I don't know.
No
why.
problem. No problem. Look at the screen. I wrote at the bottom, past perfect equals had and the past participle. So if the verb is to speak, it would be had spoken. If the verb is to have, right, it would be had had. So that's the form we're going to use. You can see that in the bottom left, the bottom right. Okay.
Yes,
so that's the form that we're going to use. If what did I say? That's the form that we're going to use to talk about two actions in the past, one before the other. Two actions in the past. So here, had a bad performance becomes she had had a bad performance. And then I say before, I turn transferred into transferring. She had had a bad performance appraisal before transferring to another subsidiary. She had had a bad performance appraisal before transferring. Okay? So that's both examples now. She was working for a food company when she had a bad performance appraisal, but she had had a bad performance appraisal before transferring to another subsidiary. Okay? Is that pretty clear now?
Yes, but okay. Can you memorize me what subsidiary means?
Subsidiary means a different part of the company, a smaller part of a company, a part that is like for example, you have a big movie company like Disney, and a subsidiary of Disney is Miramax, right, or something like that. Or you have a big company like I don't know, Barclays Bank. Well, I think they went bankrupt, but anyway, I think they're still around in the UK. Barclays Bank. But then they have a little subsidiary, which is like, you know, they have a little, whatever. They own a little company that just handles credit cards. So the Barclays card could be an independent subsidiary of Barclays Bank, as an example. So a smaller part. Okay, Raphael, let's do one more. I want you to try to make two statements, just like Victor and Yuki did. You're going to work on the last one, working for subsidiary. First, tell me what happened at that time using the past simple with the past continuous.
Past simple.
So start with the past continuous to talk about the period.
When she was working for a subsidiary.
Right. That's right.
While I begin with while.
When or while. Both are okay. Both are okay.
When she was working for a subsidiary, she was transferred to another subset to. While she was asked to run the subsidiary.
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 That's right. You have to put the E and the air together, so it becomes ear, ear.
Subsidiary.
That's it.
Before she was asked to run the subsidiary, she had been transferred to another subsidiary before this happened.
That's absolutely right. Before she was asked, she had been transferred there. Right? That's it. That's exactly right. So that's a little bit of practice and a little bit of review. But now what I want you to do is to talk about your own CV, your own experience. And Ahmed, I saw your email, but I had no time to look at your timeline.
No problem. It was just I made like a case study just about my schedule yesterday afternoon. Yeah, that's it.
I saw your email, but I just didn't have time to look at it. But can you talk about it? Can you share your screen so we could see it and then talk about it?
No problem. Why not?
All right. Okay. So look, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to do the screen share?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Let me try.
All right.
Okay. Can you see it?
Nope.
No, not yet.
Now I can. Yeah, now I can. Okay, I'm going to put you on screen. I'm going to turn the camera on you. Okay? And all you need to do is, just like you heard Raphael, all you need to do is to say a few things. You should alternate between two sentences. Remember, what we're practicing here is using the narrative tenses to talk about your experience, like you would in a job appraisal. But you just need to alternate between basically two kinds of sentences. While I was doing A, this happened in the simple past. So while, past continuous. Another kind of sentence would be, right, while or when. Another kind of sentence would be the past perfect. So before being transferred to a subsidiary, I had been invited to, I had a bad job appraisal, or I'd had a bad job appraisal before being transferred. So those are the two kinds of sentences you're going to use the most. That's your target. You can say anything else you want, but make sure you do at least one example of each.
Okay. Let me start with having lunch and bit my tongue. While I was having lunch, I bit my tongue.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's not okay. It's terrible.
No. I mean the structure of the sentence.
Oh, structure's fine. Yeah, structure's fine.
Okay. Well, the second sentence will be before I washed up, I had bitten my tongue.
That's right.
Okay.
That's it?
How many sentences?
Look at all the stuff you've got.
Okay, then let me go to.
Let's start again. Hey, Ahmed, could you tell us a bit about your Monday afternoon?
Well, okay. While I was participating in one of verbal classes, my phone rang.
Oh no! What happened?
It distracted me. So I switched it to my phone off.
Good thinking. Very good. What else happened Monday afternoon?
Well, by the end of the class, I nodded off.
Oh, you must have been in my class. By the way, nodded off means fell asleep, everyone. Nodded off.
Yeah.
Must have been my class.
But before that, I had laughed.
Okay, very good. I want you to say that again, and remember, after a preposition, like, or prepositions and adverbs have almost the same function. So a preposition is in, at, on. Adverbs of time would be before, after, during. But in both cases, the structure is preposition adverb plus gerund, ing form.
Okay.
So before doing what? Before?
Before nodding off,
Good.
I had laughed.
You had laughed.
I had laughed.
What happened?
Uh, like this now. Teacher Jon-Eric kept commenting
I see.
and making fun of us.
I never make fun of anyone.
No. He
Never.
made joke. He
I
made a joke.
I never make fun of anyone
Okay, he made a joke. He made a joke. Sorry about that.
unless they don't realize I'm doing it. Then I make fun of you. Okay, very good. Remember, my method of teaching is teaching through cruelty.
Yeah. No, sorry. I didn't mean that. I meant like you made us laugh.
Remember, I'm
Yes,
a cranky person, Ahmed. You told me I was cranky.
Cranky? I don't know. Cranky. What does it
You're the
mean?
one who said it. No, grumpy.
Grumpy. I said it long time. Probably that was in 2000. I don't know. 12?
Yeah, I was grumpy back then. Yeah.
Yeah, that time. Just because you couldn't, deal with Hangout.
Someone.
It's Google Hangout.
If it's the class I remember, if it was the first or second class in Verbling, someone erased my document right when the class started, and I wasn't expecting it. I think that's the class you're talking about, because I'll never forget that.
Probably.
I think
I have to watch the previous classes then.
Watch it again.
I don't remember really.
Okay.
I will.
Did anything else happen Monday afternoon?
Well, yes. Yes. After the class, I was making tea
That's a good thing.
when someone knocked on the door.
Okay, very good. And what happened after that?
I don't remember.
Oh, you nodded off again, right?
I think so. Yeah, I was knackered.
Okay.
I was scattered. That's why.
Okay. Let's put this in a more professional vein. I want you to be able to talk about your work experience. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to give you an example using my CV. And you can do the same. Hang on a second. I can't seem to turn on my... Oh, there we go. No one. Okay, there we go. So if you give me a second, I'm going to see if I can share a page with you from my CV.
Okay, can I now switch because I can't see
Google
Hangout? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, now you know how walk a mile in my shoes.
You are right. Yes. No.
Everyone says, but you forgot about me. But I don't forget about people. It's just that I can't see you half the time. But if you hang on a second, let me just see where I put my... where did I put my... Oh, here it is. Oh, that's not my CV. That's someone else's. Okay, well, let's do this one. This one is not mine, but it could work. Because I don't know where I put mine. Mine is only online, I guess. Uh-oh, yeah, I don't have a hard copy of it. Let me see this one. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can use this one. WordPad. No, that's not a good one. Hang on just a second here, because what I want to do, I want to give you an example, then I want to have you try it. But the example I was going to use belongs to a student. I don't want you to look at his CV. That would be bad. So give me just a second to open mine. I'll share my screen with you, and I'll try to use the same structure to talk about some of my teaching experience, and then I'm going to turn it over to you to give it a try with your CV. If you have a copy, great. If you don't, that's okay too. Give me just a second to figure out where I put it. I might not be able to get to my CV at all. Oh, no. No, I don't have it. No, I can't show it to you. That's bad. Because I have it saved in another account, and this is my teaching account. I have it in my personal account. I cannot share it with you. Okay, so let me try an alternative here. There's always another way to do this. Hold on a second here. Let me see. I'm going to give you an alternative. I'm going to use a student CV, but I'm going to take off his name so that you can't see who it is, and you won't see his personal details. Hang on just a second.
Or
So how do I want to do this?
Or you can get one on the internet.
Well, I could, but then I won't really know much about it.
I see.
I mean, I probably have mine in front of me somewhere, but I don't see it for some reason. But you know what I can do? Hey, I know what I can do. I can go to the one I just sent yesterday, which is in my email. That's a good idea. Okay, hang on a second. I just need to open my email. This will take a second. Sorry for the delay. But what I want to do is to give you a real life. Oh, of course I can't sign into my email because this is my teaching account. So
It's a problem, yeah. Is it on Gmail as well?
It is, but you know what I can do? I can open Chrome, which will probably crash my computer, and I can open it there. So let's try. We're not done yet. In the meantime, Raphael, Victor, Yuki, if you have a copy of your CV, if you have one handy, then I'd like you to take a quick look at it, because I'd like you to try this on your own after I give you an example. Let's see if I can open Chrome. Am I able to do it? Looks like I am. Looks like it, yeah. Okay, good. So I just need to sign in and get started in just a second. Chrome, are you working? Are you working, Chrome? Yeah, looks like it's working. Good. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm being stupid. Maybe I do have a copy of it, and I'm just not thinking. Do I? I think I do. I do have a copy. I am just not thinking. Okay, I got it here. I forgot that if I open Google Drive, I can open it on my computer. So, yeah, I have it right here. What am I thinking? Here we go. Okay, so let me share this with you then. Okay, let's take a look at the CV. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes, I see.
Okay, sorry for the delay, but I completely forgot that Google Drive downloads an offline copy of everything. So I actually had it in front of me, I just wasn't thinking. Okay, we don't need to look at my personal contact information, not necessary. We need to look at education and experience, okay?
Okay.
So, let's see. We got 2014, 2013, right? What I want to say here is, I'm going to talk. I'm going to just say two sentences about this. I'm going to turn it over to you to say something about it, if you like, and then I'm going to ask you to talk about your own CV. So look at this. If I was going to talk about my experience, I could say that I had started my education. You can see NYU at the bottom there. Well, I had gotten an undergrad degree in film production before becoming a teacher, right? So I had graduated before getting a TESOL certificate from, oh, look at that. There we go, yeah. You can see, whoa, why is this? Okay, yeah. No, look, there's something weird about this. The TESOL certificate looks like, am I crazy? Is there a mistake on my CV?
It is good to share it now. Then.
No, okay, I see what I did. Yeah, I changed it, so I put the institution first. Okay, that's what it was. Because I looked at TESOL certificate NYU, but it's not that, it's Trinity College. Okay, so you can see I had graduated from NYU before getting a certification as a teacher, because you can see in 1997 NYU, 1998 TESOL, right? Let's see if I can say something simultaneously. Well, while working for Verbling, I also held other online jobs, as you can see, for Learnship and Mingle. These are other online schools. But whereas Verbling is a B2C company, so business to client or customer, Learnship and Mingle are B2B, business to business. So for teaching professionals, usually executive and management staff at various companies, I would do it through those schools. And teaching to the public, anyone off the street who's got an internet connection, I would do that at Verbling in mostly group classes. Okay? So again, I'm using the past continuous because I was working at Verbling while working for other schools. So they happen simultaneously and they're still happening. Let's see if I can give you an example of the past. I did the past perfect with my experience. And okay, prior to working at, let me go back here. Okay, yeah. So you can see down there at the bottom, IPL. Prior to beginning my tenure as an online teaching professional at the first school, which was Mingle, I had worked in a variety of local schools here in Lisbon. For example, you have Instituto Português de Línguas, Língua CUP, Escola Europeia de Línguas. These were some that I had done prior to that. I had done prior to that, past perfect. Okay, that's a quick example of using some real-life information, some realia, as we call it, to use the narrative tenses. What I'd like you to do is to say something similar about your work experience. Okay? So, does anyone have a CV handy, or do you have it more or less memorized? Does anyone have a CV handy on your computer? I'll take that as a no, since I don't hear anyone saying anything.
I have. I can remember my CVE. I'm talking about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was graduated. I graduated. I was graduated. I don't know.
Well, wait a second. What we want to say here is, we don't say graduated. We'd say, unless you mean the ceremony of graduation, we would say, I got a degree in, or I did a degree in.
I had a degree in psychology. Well, while I was studying psychology in 2000, I was working for a company called Zeus. It was a company interested in develop new business in Europe.
Did they happen at the same time?
Yeah. And while I was studying.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was studying psychology. At the meantime, in the same time, I was working for a company called Zeus. Its goal was to develop business in Europe. Later, when I finished my
when I had graduated. Later, when I had graduated.
When I have graduated,
Had.
when I had graduated, I began to work in another company, in one hospital called the VO2T, and I was working there for 4 years, having consultant with later I went to another hospital. I changed girls going to another hospital, and for 2 years. While I was working in this hospital, I was trying to make my own private consultancy, and later.
Hang on a second. It's too much information. Hold on.
Yeah.
So, make a concerted effort to use the past simple, because if you overuse the past continuous, it sounds like everything was happening at the same time. But actually, not everything was happening at the same time. So let's go back to the hospital. While I was working at BOT, is that right, BOT? Now you switch to the past simple. What did you do while you were working there with the consultancy? What did you do?
While I was working in the BOT, I tried.
Good. That's it.
Tried to make my own private consultancy.
Make or made?
Made.
No. Make. Because tried is already in the past.
Yeah.
So you're not using the present. It sounds like the present, but it's not. It's what we call the bare infinitive. In other words, and in Spanish and in Portuguese you might say radical, meaning the base of the verb. In other words, because you say I tried, we know it's the past. The next verb could be in the bare infinitive, the radical form. So I tried, because you said I tried.
Yeah.
No, you know what? It's not the bare infinitive. It's infinitive. It's to make. To make.
I tried to make
exactly.
my own private consultancy.
That's
Later, I began to my own consultancy.
Began. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's fine. I just want to say that when you use adverbs, you can use the gerund. So, for example, so if there's an action, you can put it in the ing form. Later, I began consulting.
Later, I began consulting.
And you can say consulting for whom? For yourself or for someone else?
Consulting for patients.
Okay, good.
Later, I began consulting.
I began consulting.
I began consulting for patients, and from that time to now.
From that time onward.
From that time onward.
Yeah, good.
I've been having consulting patients from that time.
Okay, so from that time onward, I have continued consulting for patients. From that time onward, I have continued consulting. All right, I'm putting this in the chat window so you can see it too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So it sounds good. It sounds good. The main thing is, during you have to interrupt the past continuous with the past simple. While I was at BOT, I tried to create my own consultancy, right? Before setting up my own consultancy, I had worked as a psychologist and I had worked in a hospital, right? So you can talk about prior events like that. Okay, it sounds good. And also, don't forget, with adverbs of time, like before, after, etc., it's before, after, blah, 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 plus ing, like, or after, blah, 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 plus ing. It's a good way to sound more like a native speaker. Not the to form, but the ing form. Okay, Victor, next victim. Victor, do you have your CV more or less memorized?
Yes, I can memorize.
Okay. So you don't have to say a lot, but I'd like you to tell me, let's say, 3 things about your professional experience. Okay? And you have to use at least one example of I was blah 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 when, and at least one example of I before doing blah 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 I had blah blah blah. In other words, one good example of the past continuous and one good example of the past perfect. Okay? I'd like you to say no less than 3 things about your experience, though.
I was working as a teacher.
Oh, who knew?
Yes, and
And what happened during that time? Tell me something that happened.
And I got offer from IT company.
Okay, very good. Let me rephrase that for you. When I was working as a teacher, I got an offer from an IT company. When I was working as a teacher, I got an offer from an IT company. That's one way to say it.
Yes. When I was working as a teacher, I got an offer from IT company.
Mm-hmm. And what happened next?
And then the company invited me in to another city.
Okay, very good. And what happened? Now, I want you to go back for a second, Victor. Tell me something else that happened before you went to the city. Before you went to the new city. Tell me something else that happened before that. Because I want you to use the past perfect. For example, did you think about going, or did you know immediately you wanted to go? Did you need to think about it? Did you need to prepare?
After quick guess about that, I quickly decided to go to another city, and before I thought about that to my top manager in school.
Okay, very good. So listen to this, Victor. This is where you can use the past perfect. Before deciding to go to the new city, what had you done with the school manager? What had you done? You had...
I had resolved all issues.
Okay, that's it. So before going, notice before plus the ing. Before going to the new city.
Before going to the new city, I had resolved all issues with my top manager.
Okay, very good. What were some of the issues you had to resolve?
It means to complete all classes which my student attend, which my student had subscribed and resolve.
Victor, you have someone here that wants to know more about you. I don't know if you can see him.
Looks like she very interested in my information.
It's a he. Don't insult him. It's a he.
Yes.
I know he's pretty, but it's a he. Yes, he wants to know more. He's very interested.
I want to tell you about when I was moving to another city. I had resolved all issues, money issues, and etc.
Okay, very good. So again, all of that you can use with the past perfect. I had I had taken care of all of my unfinished business before going so that I could be ready when I got there. For example, I had taken care of. So notice taken is in the past participle form. Had taken care of, had resolved, had spoken to my manager at the school, and had completed all my classes, all of that.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Very
Okay.
good, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe now it's better than in previous in previous term.
But
Because-
of course it's better. Of course
Yes.
it takes a little bit of time. Plus, you weren't in the other classes because we practiced this earlier, but you weren't there in
Yes.
last week, right? So it takes a little bit of time.
Yes, I can attend your classes because now I have a little bit more free time, and the time in this part of day is free, and I can attend your class.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Let's do this because I've got back-to-back classes and now I have to go to another school, unfortunately. But let's do this. I want you to practice this. So I have a homework which I was going to send, and I think yesterday I got on the train and forgot or something. I don't think I sent it. Let me send it to you now, where you'll get a chance to practice these tenses, okay? I think what we're going to do is, I think if I remember right, I scheduled to start the new unit tomorrow, if I remember right. The new unit is on talking about success. But maybe what we can do is I'll give you a chance to work on your CV, talk about your experience, and I'm not sure. I'm just thinking if we should, because I don't want to have overkill here, but I want you to have the experience of doing a job appraisal, like a full one. But I'm wondering if you need some more time, because I'm thinking maybe we ought to postpone the new unit and just finish the appraisal thing. I'm thinking, I'm not sure. Okay, I think we'll do this. I'm going to send you a homework where you have a chance to work on this. The answers will be on the last page of the homework, so you can correct yourself. And I think it might be better then if we try to put this together into a realistic speaking situation, an appraisal. So I can also send that to you, but it's in the links for the class today. So I think what we have to do is, hang on just a second. Well, I don't have it open. It's a case study. So I think actually we might want to do that before we finish this. So actually we're going to do more than 10 classes. There's a case study. I can tell you briefly what it is, but if you click on presentation 3, you'll see it as well. It's on the very end. No, I can't open it. Can I? Yes, I can. Okay. So just briefly before you go. No, it's not there. Oh, I don't have it in the material. Okay, I'll have to show you tomorrow. Anyway, so you practice the tenses in the homework. Tomorrow we're going to try to put this together in a final activity where you're going to be appraising someone. Either you can use your own CV or you can use the case study files that I'm going to give you tomorrow. It's up to you. Okay? So we'll take it from there. And that's it. I have nothing else to say. I'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, an hour earlier to do the next short story class. We're going to be doing part 2 of John Updike's The Happiest I've Been. We're going to be picking out some of the key excerpts from the text, reading only those, and we'll be discussing it, the story as a whole. So if you're coming to class, make sure you've read the story before class, and I'm just going to pick out some key parts to focus on for our discussion, okay? And of course, tomorrow at the same hour for the next Getting Results in Business. Questions or comments, send me a message to Verbling Okay? Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow at the same time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.